So lately, I've brought to my own attention the fact that the more I try to be a better version of me, the more I actually feel taken advantage of. And it just seems not right, right? But how many of you can relate to this? Like, the better you try to be, the more you feel like you're taken advantage of, or it's not appreciated, or it's not mattering. And sometimes it's like, why? Well, I just want you to know that you're not alone in this. And I feel that this is something that isn't really talked about because it's not really popular, especially in our society now, to really talk about the fact that our society is very superficial and greedy and want that instant gratification and kind of entitled and impatient. And yet there's still good people that are trying to live with morals and honesty. And I know for me, I value honesty, loyalty, authenticity. Like, being authentic is very important to me. And that can be really tough in society now when it's kind of shut down or not, it's just not popular. And I know many of you out there can relate to this, and you feel alone, and that can be very isolating and very tough, and can sometimes make you wonder what's the point, right? Or this is just how it is, and I just have to be alone on this. But yeah, I mean, I am on my own self-improvement journey. Of course, as I've mentioned before, I value growth, and this is it's a lifestyle type of, or a lifelong type of learning, right? And I value that. I value knowledge and just getting, really familiar with myself and honoring that and breaking away from the old belief patterns and mindsets that I was raised on. Because you have to ask yourself, is it really making you happy, right? And if the answer is no, then the good thing is that we can work on that. We can change our mindsets. We can get more of the outcomes that we want, which is something I love talking about, right? Because it's been so powerful for me on my journey. I have always done my best to be honest, even when it's very difficult. And that's not to say I've always been perfect with it. That, not at all. Of course, we're all human. We make mistakes and we're not always perfect, right? But there's that level of what we strive for and what we value. And as we get older, we notice that that isn't the case with everybody, right? And that can make it really difficult when you are a good, honest person and you expect people to kind of be that way with you, and then you find out that that's not the case for all people, and that can be very difficult and isolating, especially depending on who you have in your life, like your support system. Like, if you have a family that understands or is more aware, or people you can talk to. See, for me, this is really difficult because I've had a string of different type of abusive relationships throughout my life. And as I'm getting older, I also realize that there's certain dynamics in my family that has kind of led to me thinking that some of those behaviors are normal, right? And so that attracts more of that into my life. And so becoming aware of that and learning how to change that has been very important to me. And that's part of why I like to share some of what I've learned, because if it can help somebody else feel less alone, then that's amazing, because I felt alone most of the time throughout these traumatizing and abusive type of situations. And it forced me to come to a place where I had to decide, look, do I want to keep going down this path and being depressed and, just really in a dark place? Or do I want to figure out a way to feel a little bit better, right? And that's just kind of where it started, just getting to that bottom place of just not being able to take the suffering in this kind of world that we live in, and wanting to just feel a little bit better, and taking it upon myself to educate myself and not really reach out to. I didn't really have anybody I felt comfortable reaching out to originally. So it was kind of all by myself, in the sense of trying to get out of that depression. And I did, but I think it would have been much easier having a support system and understanding that I wasn't alone, and that I could speak out, and that there were other people, right, that are suffering too, and that feel hurt and abused and don't know who they can talk to, or just that there isn't anybody that understands. And I just want to reiterate, you're not alone. And there are many of us out there. There are many of us good people out here. We just aren't in the spotlight, right? Because it's not sexy to be in our, like, now in our, day and age or whatever. It's like not cool, it seems like, to be honest and loyal and appreciate improving yourself and having integrity and being faithful or anything like that. Like, it's not, living by a good moral code isn't really what you see on TV most of the time, or hear in popular songs or anything like that, right? It's kind of not popular. It's just like not popular to be that way, which is really sad, because that's such the opposite, right, of how it should be. We should be good to people and be bringing people up and being kind and honest, because not only does that make a better world to live in, but it feels better also, right? And then to kind of go back to that question of, like, when we do feel alone, like we're the only good people left, and it's very isolating. And then sometimes I know it's almost like, why, right? Like, why am I trying so hard to be a better person? Why am I trying so hard to be honest? Why am I trying so hard to, be a good friend or be a good spouse or partner or daughter or whatever the situation is, right? When these other people around me don't seem to care. It doesn't seem to, right? And I've been guilty of having those thoughts and pauses too, but it's almost been a matter of, for me, knowing that it's just kind of a test, right? And knowing that I don't want to stoop to some people's level, and just what is going to bring me peace, right? if I act like these other people or I turn away from my true values, is that really going to make me feel better? No. For me, the answer is no. Maybe for you, the answer is different, but I have a feeling if you're like me, it's the same kind of answer, right? So when we do start to have those doubting beliefs that maybe we aren't doing the right things, or that maybe it's not, right to be honest or have these morals or live authentically and not be superficial, right? And you're tempted to be like the other people, that are superficial and greedy and all of that, and just questioning yourself that how would that really make you feel? Like, can you really live that way? And for me, the answer is no. So that wouldn't be being authentic, right? That wouldn't be being authentic to myself if I gave into that. So I just want to reassure you that, if you really value loyalty and having morals and, good, honest, like work ethic and, just being kind and having acceptance and all of these things, right? To just be a better person. It matters. It matters. Okay. And people notice even if they don't say that, even if they don't give you credit for it. Okay. And there are others, we're out here, there are others like you. And you can find, your group, your people that understand you. I think it's people like us tend to be quieter maybe, or just more isolated, or just focused on, our own families and our own life. And we're not just out there in the spotlight. So it seems like we don't exist, but we do. Okay. And that goes for, women. If you're looking for a good man, there are good ones out there. Okay. And men, the same. There are good women out there. There are good people out there to be friends with. And you don't need to, be fake and superficial and hide who you truly are to connect with people. I don't feel like that's ever going to really truly work and satisfy you on the inside. So yeah, just having patience and staying true to yourself and knowing that you're not alone, and there's nothing wrong with being faithful and honest and loyal and having integrity and having respect for people, having respect for yourself, taking care of your health and your mind, and whatever other specific good values that you feel like aren't valued by others. There are people that would value your way of living and your way of life. And yeah, we're not alone. Okay, there are good people left. And even though it doesn't feel like that all the time, trust me, I get it. It does not feel like that all the time in this world right now. But have a little bit of trust and faith, and just keep doing what you know in your heart is the right thing and right for you, and being open, to getting to know people and just really being honest, truly honest. And I think that would open up a whole new world, if you just come at it with a different mindset of maybe not expecting people to let you down, and maybe not expecting people to not understand, maybe going in with just like a curiosity, in any kind of situation, whether it's a friendship or a relationship or coworkers or, or just anything like that. instead of allowing ourselves to feel isolated and then isolate ourselves more, maybe just get curious and let yourself talk to people and let yourself, see if there is a connection there. And if there isn't, then there isn't, and that's totally fine. And not letting that like discourage you. Okay, it doesn't mean that you can't connect with people and that there aren't other people like you. It just might not be that person, right? Because we're not going to connect and have, the same values as everyone. But just giving yourself a chance to connect and feel that and know that you're not alone, okay? And you don't have to suffer whatever it is that you're suffering right now alone. Okay, and whatever the struggle is, everything's temporary. Okay, everything in life is temporary, the good and the bad. That is something that helps me to remind myself that whatever season you're in is temporary. Okay? And there are people that understand, and maybe just giving someone an opportunity to show you that they understand. Okay? Because we're really not all as different as we think we are sometimes. Sometimes we think there's nobody that could understand us, or that we're so different, and we're really not. Not when we get down to the core of it. We might have different situations or different things, that led us to different places or something like that. But at the core, I think most of us humans are pretty similar. Okay. And just getting curious and allowing that thought to even be possible and give you a different outlook when you're out with people or the people in your life already, and seeing how that feels different to you on the inside. And if that can give you a new perspective and help you to feel less alone and more connected, and a little bit more positive, because this can be a dark place sometimes. And it can be hard when you feel like you're the only, good person around. I just challenge you to look at it a little bit different and have the courage to just see if there's somebody out there that you can connect with, because none of us should be living this life completely isolated, right? So yeah, think about that. And I have a few other videos that you can check out about this topic and getting the outcomes you want and being a little bit happier in life. So check those out. Those are really valuable. Okay. So there, I shared a little bit more about me, and yeah, just my thoughts on this. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.